Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Red Devils Roundup on the Balls Out podcast. A little bit later than usual and a few days later than usual, but who cares? Who cares? We haven't got much to sing about. We haven't got much to dance about. It's been an abysmal few days, if not weeks, for us as Man United fans. So here we are. We're here. We thought, no, we're going to do a show. We're not just going to back down like some other fan channels would do. We are here, we've got stuff to say, and we're joined by a man that's got plenty to say. He's been itching to say what he wants to say in the last few days. So we've got Mark alongside us regular on the show. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm good. Probably better, but we've had this delayed a couple of days. Let reality come back to us all and see what sorry, sad state of events are going on at Old Trafford again.
I think if we'd done this show Sunday evening as originally scheduled, it would have just been a pretty abysmal show for anyone to watch. So it's probably good that we've kept it a couple of days and just taken a chill. And then some stuff's come out in the media yesterday, stuff's come out in the media today. So, we're going to unpack it. We're going to look at it. But obviously, we'll have to start with the game at least. I mean, the game's not really worth talking about. The overall consensus, in my opinion, is that the performance was terrible, the players were terrible, and Brighton were just excellent. I assume you. I mean, you're from the area of Worthing, so and I'm assuming a lot of mates of yours have been giving you a hard time. But yeah, what did you make of the game? I suppose.
Well, first off, I expected us to lose. I know
Yeah,
that's bad, but obviously I know a lot about Brighton from being around the area and how they play and everything. And I was just like, they're going to tear us apart if we don't turn up. And well, that's exactly what they did. But they didn't need any more help from what they got, did they? So I thought 1-1 would have been a fair result. But we
at
want to give
half
them two. Yeah, but we want to give them two gifts,
time.
and we are. As I've said before, my other half's a Liverpool fan. I'm surrounded by Brighton fans, like Chelsea fans, you name it. Any team that you grew up in the 80s/90s, I'm surrounded by, and we are the gift that just keeps giving for them to give me abuse. I can't put it any other way.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, the second goal, Onana.
yeah. I mean,
Sorry.
I really wanted to steer away from giving, maybe not abuse is the wrong word, but giving the players a hard time because there's plenty of other channels. If you want that sort of thing, go to another channel because we are not here to just abuse every single living player on the pitch. They will be aware, or you'd like to think they are aware of how badly they are right now, or how
No,
bad.
I agree, and it's a confidence thing because that second goal was a confident goalkeeper comes and takes the ball. It was there. It was coming into his 6-yard box, and I was like, that great. The game before pulls off great double save, which keepers live for. That's one of the only things they can train for. And a lot of people might not be aware. Goalkeepers find it very hard to train for matches because they do a lot of just normal catching drills.
Yeah,
You don't know where the shot's coming from. You can't. But what you do practice is, saving 2 shots at once, 3 shots at once. The quick reactions get up. I'm thinking, yeah, we've had great results. He's been in goal for these results. He's buzzing, but then the confidence just. What happened? It was like the whole team had been drained of confidence.
yeah. It's Yeah, I don't even know if it's. I mean, we spoke about this, and it's great to see people in the comments. Evening, Sean. Evening, Vicky. I hope you're both doing really well. Yeah, we spoke about this on a show a couple of weekends ago, didn't we? Where we said about obviously again. I think it was the Arsenal just after the Arsenal game, wasn't it? There where we beat them, and you specifically said when teams are playing the attacking football against us, we find it easier to play. And then we've come up against two teams that play a slightly sort of lower or deeper block in defensively. I mean, maybe not so much Brighton, but they still play a slightly more defensive. But with Southampton, where they pretty much had everyone behind the ball, we struggled and we were awful up until the 82nd minute when Ahmad had a marvellous 12 minutes to get us back into it and win. But against Brighton, even though they weren't so defensive, they still managed to keep it compact enough to stop. Like everyone knew what United were going to do, and I think that's a worry. But also, it's a case of, like you said, when you come up against teams that aren't all flow out, all attacking, they do have a sort of defensive structure and say, right, we're going to stop you doing all of that. We're going to struggle.
Yeah, exactly that. Brighton are we will contain you, and then it will be the good old London quote of "Bish Bosh Bash," two,
Mm,
three, four passes, and there's a shot at the end of it. That is exactly how they play. Quick, dynamic football, but once the trap has been set and gets sprung, they know where to go, and it's second nature. Now that's all Amarin keeps preaching about. He can't train that at the moment. He's training them to get back in straight lines, get back into position.
mm.
But Sunday, that wasn't happening. You know, everything that's come out in the last 48 hours about Amarin, probably why he said what he said to the media. Um, we now know a little bit more behind why he might have said that. Um,
Well, should we come straight on to that? Let's just
I'd love
dive
to
right
because
into it.
I couldn't have
So,
smiled any more when it came out.
yeah, so the direct quote after the game was he was asked a leading question, and obviously Ruben knew what he was doing with this with his statement, but he basically said, "This is the we are," and he said, "We are the worst team probably in Manchester United history. You want headlines, that's it, and we have to fight to change that." So it's very hard to disagree with what he's saying, but obviously, I mean, I know I'm from an era where we've been successful and we've morphed into mid-table obscurity, whereas there are fans from before successful and relegations and stuff that will probably like disagree and say no, these teams that we had to live through were as just as bad, if not worse. So I understand that, but from my lifetime, we've grown up. I mean, I was born '96, so I've pretty much grown up throughout the success up until 2012 or 2013 when Sir Alex retired. So, but it's difficult to see anything other than Ruben's bang on.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've got about 10 years on me. I was born in 81. So yeah, yeah. When I became a United fan, you just didn't do that. You know, for me it was Sheffield Wednesday or Man United in my family. So
Right.
I think I chose the right one in the end, even though where we are now. Um, it's Amarin. Like, are we the worst
No,
team? The worst team doesn't mean you've got the worst players, does it? Oh,
Naomi made it.
hey,
Hey, Naomi, how
wait.
are you?
Hey folks, how are you?
Yeah, did your meeting ended early? Did it? We got them.
Yeah, yeah, luckily. It's really busy. I work at the school, so I'm kind of on my break right now, but we just got back to the spring semester today, so it's just been a nightmare of a morning. See you guys.
Yeah, no, we're good. We were just talking about Ruben's quotes directly after the game, obviously saying that but we are the worst team in Man United history, and Mark was saying obviously, yeah, just your thoughts on that particular quote, Naomi.
Yeah, I thought it was a little hard to hear, honestly, and obviously the media picked it up right away, and
I mean, it,
even
it
with
went, didn't it? As soon as he said that, it was everywhere. Like you couldn't
bam.
scroll anywhere. It was bang.
Anywhere.
Right.
Yeah. And the first sources I picked it up was like my own trusted community members. And uh, it sounded softer when they were kind of commentating on it. But then, you see the real articles. And yeah, it was a little tough to see that. And then I also saw like some comparison videos of like how Ruben's doing a lot of the wrong things that Ten Hag did, and I was like, oh God, I need to get off the internet right now. Um, and he's been really good with the PR, but like there's no room for errors or anything like that with the media.
Yeah, Mark, it can go one of two ways, can't it? With a new manager coming in saying something like that, you either get a galvanisation from the players to say, "Fucking hell, he's right. We've got to do something about this," or you get Who the fuck does this guy think he is? You know, he's only been here 5 minutes.
I've literally seen parodies doing that today on
Yeah.
like things like TikTok and that. We're going, Amarin being nice to the players, and then all of a sudden the players are like talking behind his back. Now we know about this smashing to the TV, flipping to the tables, losing it in the changing room. That happened before this quote. So this puts a different context to the quote.
Yeah, so it was revealed just before that press conference that Ruben Amorim unleashed a rage in the dressing room after the Brighton defeat. Tables were flipped over, chairs kicked, and every player was made aware that they're either shape up or fuck off. Tears were shed and players were sung, and that was reported widely today.
Yeah. He's even broke the tactics board, which is,
Yeah,
for
smashed
those
the
who don't know,
TV.
yeah, it's a 70-inch touchscreen TV, which, okay, costs to the club. Well, I would say would be peanuts, but this is Man United now, so it's probably a lot of money.
Counting every peanut at the moment, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But and I need it fixed by Thursday. But I love that. Do you know what? What was it? Quotes that some of the players were crying. So I don't
Good.
know if that's a tongue-in-cheek, like who the hell does he think he is, kind of crying, or I don't know. Maybe some of the younger ones maybe physically were crying, David Beckham
They
style,
might
boots to
cry.
the head.
Yeah.
I
That makes
think
you a little sad, honestly. Like, I could literally imagine them tearing up. Like, they're so sensitive, like, literally.
Oh,
that's it. That's exactly it, Naomi. You've hit the nail on the
yeah.
head there. There are players from yesteryear that would have taken that and gone, right, we need to fucking sort ourselves out. But in
Or we
this day
launched
and
it back
age,
at him.
or if you imagine Roy Keane in that dressing room now, he would have got up and started shouting back, and you think, yes, that's exactly what we want. But you can imagine that there is just nothing from those players. That if they were sat there, if the reports are true, and obviously they are alleged, they are reports, we don't know the actual facts of what happened. But if the reports are true, and that's all we can go on, is that there were players sitting there crying after this rant and rage, like actual rage from Ruben Amorim, then they are not fit to be a Premier League player. If you can't take the fact that your manager is calling you out for being absolute dog shit at the minute, and there's no way around it, there is no player in that team right now, apart from you could give one clover of peace to maybe Ahmad and yeah, maybe Ahmad. I can't think of any others at the minute off the top of my head.
We spoke about Ahmed a few weeks back, didn't we? And we said what he's doing is what we would expect all players to do. But
Mm.
at the moment, everyone's singing his praises because he's the only player doing that. Bruno's come back a little bit. I think he has stepped his game up. But out and out, what do I expect from a Man United player is everything Ahmed does. But that's
Takes a game
what
by
I
the scruff of the
expect.
neck. If he has to do it himself, he will, and that's exactly what we saw in the Southampton game
Yeah, but that's just an
and the Man City game.
expectation. It's an expectation of a player. So that's not him going above and beyond. That's just what we expect of anyone who steps foot on the pitch wearing the United red shirt.
Mm.
You know? But going back to those comments, now you said about it can make or break the changing room. You know, the comments of we're the worst Manchester United team. Well,
Yeah.
when you've just had the bust up, he's already probably said most of that to the team.
Yeah, true. True.
So now I'm just repeating it. So they've already heard it firsthand, and it's not coming through the media and everything else.
Yeah,
And I
maybe.
think you're right. That should galvanise, or if you don't want to get it sorted, get out. But if they'd heard it purely from the press conference, I would be worried as a player. I was like, who the hell do you think you are? We are giving everything. It just ain't working. It's your tactic. You're starting a back and forth
Yeah.
dressing room leaks coming. But the flip side to it is what was also probably not put in the quotes is he preempted using the words I'll give you your headlines, things like that. So what he's doing, he's saying something that they now can't print. Does that make sense? Like if I say it, it's not you making the story. I've given you the story.
Yeah.
I've given you that headline. Takes the edge off, doesn't it? It's a bit like well, we know what's coming, but you can put whatever you want in the headline because we've seen it already.
Yeah, we know
Is he
about it.
protecting the team almost in that respect? A little bit?
There's an element of I mean, what do you think, Naomi? Is it a case of this it can go either way, or is it a case of they just need to use it as fuel?
I mean, it's tough, man. Like, just already, you don't need to give them fuel. You don't need to give them anything. Like, the British media and like they do their thing already. They're the absolute scum of the earth. I've said it
Mm,
many, many times. Um, and just like honestly, I don't really take any like I don't think he died, but again, I just don't understand what he got from saying that. Um, again, I want to like definitely watch it a bit more and see the context and everything. But from what I've seen so far, I just, back your players. It takes nothing. Like, just, I don't know. We've also said, like, oh, I don't know if he should keep taking the fall or something like that. But
mm,
like, what you say doesn't really matter. Like, just navigate the media, navigate them and then go do your thing in the dressing room or go do your thing in the pitch or on the training. So yeah, I don't really know why he needed headlines. Like I did not need that in my life right now.
yeah.
How was it interpreted in America?
Not well at all, honestly. And we had our own stuff going on yesterday.
Yeah.
Don't even get
Yeah.
me started. Like our inauguration started at 8. I had a meeting around 8, 9. It started around then and it didn't stop until like late night. I stopped watching. Had other things to do. So we had already our own news, and then TikTok left and came back. So our, our media was already busy, but like it still dominated, and it was there. And like I said, first it was just community people, so it was a little kind, but then yeah, people didn't take it well, that are on my network at least.
Mm,
So it's, you know,
no, busy day, busy few days for America.
busy day. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just,
I just asked because in American sports, the sort of things Amarin has said and done isn't uncommon, is it? You see,
Yeah,
like American football and that coaches losing it, launching stuff on the sidelines,
yeah,
and obviously that you've probably got the most open press when a player can just come out and say what he wants about a coach, about another player in his team, let alone the other team. So that's why I wondered how the fans over there would. And
yeah,
they're probably like, yeah, come on, let's, thinking it's
definitely.
just fire. It's the norm. But for us, I think over
Yeah,
here, everyone was like, oh no, no, social services will be involved with the kids under 18.
yeah.
So,
Oh,
that's the
Jesus.
thing. If you're United, you can't get away with stuff like this. But also, like, I think the shock was more to what was said than because I was hearing about the outburst from Nate today, but the stuff about like what was said in the press conference and the quote unquote worst United team or whatever. That one has made the rounds. So I think that has definitely attracted more attention than like a coach losing it in the dressing room. That's definitely, like you said, Mark, like people are probably more used to that. I would be
yeah.
concerned, honestly, because I just feel like at this point I'm very in tune with how the players feel and express their emotions and I've always said baby these people. Like you can't. So I don't know. I'm nervous. Just yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like I say, it can go either way, and it's probably going to upset a few of the players, but maybe that's just what they need. Um, yeah, it's difficult to take many positives away from the game at all itself because there really wasn't really any to be positive about. I thought after the performance from Xerxes in the middle of the week when he came on for Hoyland and he made a massive difference, the opposite effect happened on the other against Brighton. He was pretty absent. Ahmad didn't really get an opportunity to get into the game. He was again very absent. Didn't really get an opportunity to make any real aggression. And what annoys me the most about some United fans on social media is that they're all screaming for Rashford, saying he would make a difference. He wouldn't have made a fucking difference.
That's because he got
Nothing.
asked in the press conference.
Yeah,
That
and
got brought up in the press conference saying he's our best attacker. And I was like, since when? Since when he scored 30 goals and did nothing any other season?
yeah, he wouldn't have made a difference. I'm not saying, and this keeps getting misinterpreted a lot from what I say on this show. Everyone then starts coming at me saying, "Well, you think Rashford's awful." you don't want him at the club. I do want him at the club. I want him to do well in wherever setting. If he leaves, fair play. Good luck to him. If he stays, and I want him to do well, because not only am I a United fan, I'm an England fan. So from an England point of view, I want him to do well. I want him to be starting 11 for England, and I want him to score goals for the club. So whenever someone says to me, "Well, you hate Rashford, you don't want him," that's bullshit. I want him to do well in whatever setting. That's all I want from the kid.
Great.
But he wouldn't have made a difference against that Brighton side, because the Brighton team just knew exactly what to do in exactly the right moments to press all our buttons, really piss us all off, and just dominate the game.
They've done it the last 3 years on the trot now. They've beaten us at Old Trafford.
I think it's like 6 out of 7 we've played, and we've only won once.
Last season at theirs.
Yeah.
I don't think I've watched us beat Brighton in a long time. Since I started watching Premier League soccer, and that's just a fact.
No, Brighton don't get. I sound almost biased living literally across the road from Brighton, but they don't get the respect they're due for their footballing ability. Again, they're treated like underdogs that are overachieving. But
Brighton as a club is without doubt the best run club probably in the country, because of just their community feel. That from top to bottom, they've got a system where, right, this manager's gone, right, let's get in this guy, and he turns out to be good, if not better than the previous guy. And then it's the same with players, right? Someone's come in for this player, right? We've got a player in Uruguay that can do exactly the same thing as him, if not better. And they just pick players from all over the world and pick managers out from anywhere. And they just seem to get it right. And the community, I mean, I love Brighton as a city, and I love Brighton. It's a great place to be, but that's the one thing about Brighton that I don't like, is the fact that the stadium is nowhere near the city centre. I've driven past it so many times to work.
And so does every Brighton fan hate that fact. But
yeah, if it was closer to the city centre, it would be perfect. But it is a very nice stadium. Never been. I'd love to go and watch, but I've driven past it so many times. But yeah, Brighton as a club, I've got a real lot of respect for them. And like you say, they just don't get the respect they deserve.
No. But, hand on heart, I know I expected us to lose. I don't know about you two. Was it the game you expected to lose after the few we've had?
Well, we did a Talk of the League show on the Saturday night, and unfortunately, Naomi predicted 2-1 to United. Stu predicted 2-0 United. I don't think I predicted, because I was too scared.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna. You guys know I'm not gonna bet against my team. I'll always bet for my team. But like I said, I've never seen United beat Brighton. So
Stu was knuckled down. Stu was like, no, because you said 2-1, then Stu says, no, I don't think they will score. No, I think we should be on a sort of a turnaround point. And I was thinking, oh no, don't say that. But you've got to respect. You've got to respect the confidence, and you've got to say, if you've got to put all your eggs in the basket and say, look, we're going to do it.
That was so cool.
Ball. Yeah, it was. That's all it is at the moment, Naomi. It's just hope that whatever we say, we just hope it's going to come true. And when you play really well in the cup, and we drew with Liverpool, beat City with this new manager and a new system, and we've said it, that the system works against teams that are coming at you.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't seem to work against players with teams with low blocks.
Do you think we've overhyped the past results? Liverpool, Arsenal. We didn't win the game.
No.
I know we won on penalties, but in football, we didn't win the game.
No, but to be down so against Arsenal, we were down to 10 men, and we embarrassed them at their home ground, because they had so many opportunities to kill the game off. They should have been 5-6-2 up even before extra time came along. And the fact that they missed all of those, and the hazardry from our players to get us to penalties, to then win on penalties to get us into the next round. Yeah, we could have got a better draw in the next round, but Leicester at home, not terrible. The Liverpool result is, well, they're the best team in Europe, probably best team in the world at the minute. So to draw with them at Anfield, am I right?
Yeah.
So
First time we scored there in what was it, 6 years?
yeah. So
Hmm.
I don't
Since
think it's
Jesse
overhyped.
Lingard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Says it
That
all.
was crazy.
he's loving life, by the way. Is it South
Oh
Korea?
mate, yeah,
Is
yeah,
he?
he's living it up.
Oh,
You see he's see on TikTok every now and then and the odd viral video of him.
I'm surprised he doesn't do TikToks on the pitch.
No, he absolutely loves it, and you just got to say fair play to the kid. He
yeah.
fell out of love with football at United. He wanted to play for West Ham. He wanted to go out on loan, or he wanted to go to Newcastle, didn't he? Then they said
Yeah,
no, we're keeping you, and then he went to West Ham on loan, played absolutely brilliantly, got back into the England setup, and then just fell out of love with football again. And
we refused to sell him, didn't we? To
we
West Ham.
refused to sell him, and then sent him off. He's gone off to Korea. He went to Forest. That obviously didn't work because that was a season for Nottingham Forest. That was just a car crash where they signed 40 players or whatever it was.
It's a good
Hmm.
warm up for this season.
Yeah, and then it's just great to see he's out there. I don't know how we got onto the tangent of Jesse Lingard, but
That's an amazing tangent all the time. I love that man, and I follow his Instagram. I have like his notifications on, so it's just great to see
Yeah,
him thrive.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
saw his
man.
interview
Another
that
play.
he did. I think it was Diary of a CEO, so like it got really deep and
yeah,
emotional, but
Yeah,
it was really moving. Yeah.
and it was really good actually. Yeah, really brave of him to go on something like that. It was really good.
that's what I was going to say. I have a lot more respect for him after seeing him talk about his mum
David Moyes did one as
and his
well,
kids.
didn't he? David
Yeah,
Moyes did one, and that was really interesting. Obviously, talking about the United stuff and the players that we wanted to sign but didn't, and then ended up with what we ended up with at that particular transfer window. So,
but
Yeah.
yeah.
we're just going to repeat that now with all these links, and we can't even get our own players out the door, so we ain't buying anyone.
Well, before we get on to transfers, let's quickly talk about. I saved it, didn't I? Where is it? Talksport reported today that there have been more Ineos cost cutting legends such as Brian. Where are we? Brian
Robson.
Robson, Dennis Irwin, Andy Cole are amongst those who will have their earnings reduced in the latest round of cost cutting. So obviously, those three players are ambassadors, global ambassadors for the club, going all over the world, uh, raising money for the foundation, promoting Manchester United in areas of the world that may not know of Manchester United. Not that there's many, but yeah, it seems that they're getting their salaries reduced and cost cut. Naomi,
Salaries here,
what
five
do you
hundred to £1,000. It is.
is it? So
Yeah, that's per appearance as an ambassador.
what do you think, Naomi?
I'm just done with these guys, I swear to God. Like, and as you are listing those names, so when the preseason tour happened, right? There's like a string of events. Like the preseason calendar is absolutely insane, even for me. But these people have been at every single event, every single official fan event, like media event, whatever event there was being organized, an outside event, it doesn't matter. Anything that's being done for or around United, they've been there. They stayed till the end. They're everywhere with the fan engagement team, and this is just an embarrassment. And I think it was Brian Robson who went on um, the Kilimanjaro hike with Andy
Mm,
Mitchell just recently.
yep.
Both years they were all there. Brian Robson actually signed one of my jerseys, took a selfie with me. So I just don't know what to say, honestly speaking. Yeah, I'm speechless. Like, don't they have something better to do with their time? You know?
Yeah. So like Mark said, reports are saying that matchday ambassadorial duties can range from 500 to 1,000, and many of the players involved rely on the money, having missed out on big wages in their playing days.
Yeah.
So if it was a grand, it's now going down to 500 sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm disgusted, honestly. It's just absolutely just disgusting. I mean, it was already enough to hear about around 250 employees um,
I was just
losing their jobs to layoffs.
yeah. So
Uh,
I've literally just got to that point, Naomi. You could make a
yeah,
great point. So billionaire Ratcliffe
um,
has also made 250 non-playing staff redundant and replaced Christmas bonus payments of £100 per employer with
I'm not gonna.
£40 vouchers.
I swear, if I was an employee, I'll probably quit. I'm not gonna lie. I would like right about now. I'd start looking for a job somewhere else. But honestly, that was extremely heartbreaking. And I'm like just being part of Gen Z and stuff. These issues are just more. I'm a little bit more sensitive to them.
Mm.
My generation is um struggling in the workforce. I've been laid off a couple of times in the past,
How old are
and
you, Naomi, if you don't mind me asking?
I am 24.
Oh,
24, couple years out of college. So yeah, it's just extremely heartbreaking. A lot of people that I knew on LinkedIn who worked at United and stuff, you just saw them like 20 years, 18 years, 15 years later lose their jobs. So we kind of brushed over it at that time, like
yeah.
the general community, but they keep doing it, man, and it's a big insult to me at least to just see this, and especially seeing people who all of us know because we see them on match day, post match, pre-match interview. Okay, there's something for the fans, they're there. There's a fundraiser, they're there. It's just heartbreaking. And then also like Mark said, they're not people who made millions back in their day. So you made the most for your club or for whatever incentive with their on their backs, and then now you're just like insulting them directly to their face. So I just have nothing to say.
Mm. Mark,
Um, it's a hard one. The cuts. I see
there's two
pros
ways
and
of looking
cons
at it.
with it.
There's two ways of
Yeah.
looking at it, isn't there? There are things at football that shouldn't be cut. A budget shouldn't be cut for, like charity stuff. Players players' wages should be cut if they're still playing because they're on too much money anyway. But if you're
Mhm.
in an ambassadorial role, you can see it both ways because obviously people like Brian Robson would have probably been on 250 to 300 grand a week if they were playing in this day, probably more because of the quality of captain that he was. Probably, I wouldn't want to guess how much the wages were back then because obviously it's skyrocketed in the last 30 years, but it's not going to be,
It was still a lot of money for the time, but it was like a couple £100 per game.
yeah. So you're
But
probably
but
talking,
what was a couple of £100? They were buying houses for like £1,000, £2,000. So
yeah. So it's a difficult one to get right. I mean, we can go back to COVID when some certain football clubs were claiming furlough
mm,
in the Premier League, and you think, and they were like laying staff off, and you think people like Liverpool did the same thing. They obviously backtracked on it in the end and said, no, we'll pay everyone. And players didn't want to take cuts during COVID because they were contracted. But it just goes to
I
show that there's a lot of shit that Ineos are going to have to comb through.
yeah.
And I think that, yeah, go on, Matt.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like they're trying to recover money. We're literally like a bag of swag, and someone's taken a slice out the bottom and it's spilling out behind us because whatever they do moving forward, they're dealing up with the financial mess behind them. But ambassadors, we have so many, so many. So we've cut the money instead of cutting the amount of ambassadors we have. So we have ambassadors still that will do the like. I'm sure Dwight York still got that role, or he had it until he took his managerial role in Australia.
Mm,
But if he could do things over there, so we have players so spread out around the world, still classed as ambassadors. Um, Brian Robson's, he should have keys to the castle. What other proper legends do we have left at the club? It's pretty much him, isn't it? Now with obviously losing Bobby Charlton this year, well last year, Sir Alex being stripped back. He was the only one really within everyone, like Naomi says, in her face, taking selfies. He's right there. I know we have Andy Cole, but he's not on the same level, and a few of the others. Dennis Irwin, loved by the Irish, but loved by United fans, but he's not the same power of a name because that's
mm,
what you want from your ambassadors. When you look at the other clubs, who they have, they're the biggest names within their club history, and you hold on to them because it's a marketing ploy. So I get it from Ineos why they would cut the money, but I would have cut the ambassadors themselves, and because you're still spending this from the same amount of money. So it might be Andy Cole and Brian Robson on the match Thursday night. Yeah, as the ambassadors. Well, cut it. Just have one. Just have the one person. That's actually cutting your money. It's just exactly the same way. You're not paying two people for doing the role.
Yeah.
But the cutting the 250 jobs, I didn't disagree with, because we actually have a friend who used to work in marketing for Man United and left because there was never anyone in the building to sign off on things, because everyone was working from home. There was too many cooks. So when you know people physically who have worked there and go, I need to leave, I've taken another job. They've gone to work for, I probably shouldn't say what company, but a very good fragrance company, in America. So they've gone from Man United to America to do their job. So
Yeah.
they're very, very good at it, but they couldn't do their job. So did we everything, inflate everything we had? Too many cooks, too many employees, too much money going to the players. What are Ilios going to do? All they can do is cut off the money. That's all they can do. Because when we get onto transfers, we have to sell. We might not want to, but right now we have no choice because we need money. Money makes the world go round.
Naomi, any thoughts?
Yeah.
You can disagree with him if you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. No, I was just gonna say that I think United had around 800 staff, like none playing staff or people who are not on the team, around 800, and then other teams had around 500 or 600 that are on the same size. So I see what you mean by that, but I just definitely think it was carried out like absolutely horrendous. But that's okay,
Sadly.
that's just
Yeah.
because my priorities are like workers' rights and um, people's well-being and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's definitely
I
really
wasn't saying it was
interesting.
right.
Yeah, yeah. Especially like working remote and stuff like that hits so many points that I think a lot of big companies are struggling with. And they've done it in big companies here in our community too, with X and all the communication companies letting go of the good majority of their computer staff. So yeah, that's just the reality of today.
Yeah, it is the reality of today. I don't know about you, but I was furloughed. Mark, were you furloughed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually had to change job because of free furlough. I got furloughed, went back, and they thought it's a cost cutting exercise. They went, we'll get rid of the better staff, keep the less experienced because they're on less money.
Yeah,
And
no,
and unfortunately, it was like that in this country a lot, in a lot
yeah.
of
So
places.
I was a forklift driver during COVID, so I was furloughed because I wasn't skilled enough.
Mhm.
That's when I decided to do my HGV license, my lorry license, because I've just said to myself, I can't be in that position again. Don't get me wrong, the first month was hard. It was really tough during COVID, just being at home, because my wife was we wasn't even married then. We were supposed to get married, but we had to move it because of COVID. But she was a support worker, so she was classed as a what they call key worker. So she was at work every day.
Mhm.
So I was just left at home by myself all the time, and it was awful.
Yeah.
And then, luckily, a mate of mine, we ended up. Long story short, we ended up playing Call of Duty Warzone for about 12, 13 hours a day, every single day for like 3 months. So that side of it was great, but ended up going back to work, and I didn't want to go back to work. So, but had to. But yeah, so
Yeah.
I changed my next job after that because I just said if something like that ever happens again, and it might, hopefully not, but it might. Um, yeah, I said to myself I can't do that. So anyway, let's move on to transfers. There hasn't been. I mean, I say there hasn't been much. Well, actually, very quickly, I've just stumbled across this. So this is Paul Scholes on TNT Sports tonight, and
Mhm.
they've done a keep or sell with him for Man United players. So I'll let you guys guess. Andre Onana, what did he say? Keep or sell?
Keep.
So he done this with someone else recently. So this would be interesting. And he said keep
He said
Onana.
keep for Onana. Yep.
Yeah.
Mateus de Ligt. What do you reckon?
Keep.
Keep.
He said sell.
Really?
Everyone seeing the same.
Lissandro Martinez.
Sell.
So
Yeah, sell. Luke Shaw. This is an easy one.
Give him away. Not even sell.
Yeah, just let him go. Sell. He said sell if we can get anything for him. Mason Mount. Keep or sell?
I'm
Keep.
pretty sure people are saying sell.
No,
What
I
are
think
you
he says
saying,
keep
Naomi?
for him.
I say keep, but I think he said sell.
He did say sell. Not fair, I don't think, on that one because he
Can't
has
argue with it, but
can't argue with it. No, but Kobe Mainu, keep or sell?
Keep.
Ooh.
Naomi saying keep.
I think he says sell.
No, he doesn't. He says keep,
Oh.
which I completely agree with. You can't.
Yeah, there's more to come from him.
Yeah, definitely. Casemiro again, easy one.
Sell.
Sell.
Anthony, keep or sell?
Pretty much done deal from what I've heard tonight.
From what I've heard today, loan deal is agreed off to Real Betis. No obligation or no option to buy. So he will. The main likelihood is he will be back with us in the summer, but not the end of the world. You know,
I'll take it. Yeah,
we'll
I'll take it.
United are going to still pay him quite a vast majority of his wages.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
Sure.
They're not buying
Whatever
him,
he
we're
wants.
paying.
But just get him out,
Whatever
get
he
him
wants.
playing. If he wants to get out and play, go for it. So, Paul Scholes said sell. Garnacho, keep or sell?
Keep.
He said keep as well. Joshua Zirkzee, keep or sell?
Keep.
I think he says keep, but I don't believe he means it if he did.
So you're both saying keep? He said sell.
He did say it.
He did say sell.
So I've heard him break down his play, and it's like get him out the club kind of when he talks about him, but I just didn't know if he'd just keep saying sell.
Marcus Rashford, keep or sell?
Sell.
Yeah, sell. So that is Paul Scholes on TNT Sports tonight. Didn't say anything about Bruno. This is they've obviously just picked out a few. Again, all it really is for the Man United transfers. So there's one here from Sky Italia. Manchester United have lowered their demands for Alejandro Garnacho in talks with Napoli. United are said to have come down from their initial asking price after holding talks today, are now open to doing business at around 55 million. 55 million for Garnacho, Naomi? Is that good or is that bad business?
That's bad business. I don't know where I need to go and who I need to tell. Like, I might need to scream it from the rooftops. I don't know. I've been getting some DMs already that like it's moved on far ahead than we even expect. So, like, I don't know why you would sell Garnacho, honestly speaking, especially right now. I really don't know. And I thought he's been doing a little better with the assists. I think it came up during our last podcast, but 2 or 3 Garnacho assists, that's good enough for me. You never see him assist, so yeah.
Jonathan brings up a great point, and Naomi, I do agree that I think 55 million is probably too low, and I just think don't sell him if you're going to not get top money for him. But Mark, Jonathan makes a really good point there. If we tried Anthony at right wing back, he hasn't even bothered trying him at left wing back.
Yeah, I don't get why we're not putting him left at all. Like,
if that's the area of the pitch that we struggle with.
Yeah, it makes this isn't uncommon. In my under 18s, we have a left back that's right-footed and refuses to play anywhere but the left. So is Anthony? I only want to play on the right and cut in because that's how he's always played. So, if you don't want to do something, out the door. That's what Amarin seems to be doing. But when he's come on at right wing back, I think he's been great. I know he missed a sitter, but
I think great's probably a strong word, but better.
For Anthony, he's been great.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, it's got to be worth a try.
Well,
It's got to be better than say having the two defenders. And if he wants Mazraoui as the right wing back, just try it. Just try it against Rangers. Try it. I totally agree with John on that. It's what else have we got to lose right now?
yeah. So yeah, yeah. Like we say, what are your thoughts on the Garnacho situation, Mark? So 55 million is where they're around.
I see it slightly different. I think I see it more from a finance point of thing. If I
I don't think we
signed,
should be letting him go for anything less than 70, if we even want to let him go at all.
do you think he is a £70 million player in the current market while playing for Manchester United?
Yes.
So you would go out and buy Garnacho now for 70 million?
For the future, absolutely 70. I mean, we did exactly the same issue with Anthony, so I don't think if we were looking at a Garnacho in the market today, he would be a 70 million pound player.
I think because
For
he's
the market's
homegrown,
problem, this is the market's issue,
yeah,
is
it's
that we are
market issue.
seeing players that are average going for 50 mil plus, and I think Garnacho is an above average player, which puts him at the 60 to 70 million pound market.
I don't disagree. I think United are trying to get a bidding war. I think they're dropping the price and trying to get more teams in. That's what I believe they would try and do. Is he 55 million? 55 million pure profit. That's a big difference to 55 million outright sale. So if we had bought him from another team, that 55 million would be a big loss, wouldn't it? Like you'd to be paying off what you paid out and you just take the profit.
Mm.
But pure profit, straight back into the club, they need as much as that as possible.
As long as it
We're
depends,
going to cut.
it depends what they're using that 55 million pound. If we get 55 million, is that just not going to go towards stadium costs, or is that going to be going straight into players?
Potentially, but I was listening to Ben Foster, and he was talking about Rashford's transfer,
Mm.
and I didn't know this, but obviously him and uh, former Leicester player, I can't remember what his name was. I think it's Mark Albright. They were saying about if Rashford goes, could take up to 20 million of his transfer um, fee because they will have to legally pay off the rest of his contract if he takes a lower wage to go.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah.
So we're already looking at not selling him anywhere near what we could have got for him at the end of last season. We could have
Hmm.
got somewhere, like you said, if Garnacho, you're saying 70, then Rashford last season or the season before could have gone up to the 100 bracket before he was dropped by England. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's fair to
Potentially.
say.
Yeah. Yeah. 90 odd million. Yeah, for an England international. Yeah.
But because he's got this deal that's still got 3 years left on it, that's 3 years of wages he could claim back, and they might only want to pay him 150,000 at Barcelona.
Mm.
So we would have to pay off the other 200,000, and it could come straight out of the transfer fee. Pure profit, but out of the transfer fee. So fans then see money coming in of, oh, you sold him for that much. No, we didn't. We
No.
don't get all that money straight away, but we still have to pay him off straight away. So
Yeah,
it's
so
very
the Garnacho deal is still up in the air. There was reports earlier saying that they were looking at what's the word, using Osimhen as leverage. Napoli want Garnacho.
I prefer the winger. Is it Polish winger? I think it's Polish.
Oh, we had this conversation the other week. We couldn't pronounce his name, so we didn't
He
even
plays on the
bother.
right wing. He plays for Poland, and we are not saying his name.
Yeah,
It begins with a K.
yeah, I've got no idea. The other one that's popping up quite a lot today is Patrick Dorgu. The current bid from United currently doesn't exceed 30 plus 5 in add-ons. And Lecce, for now, have not accepted the offer and are waiting for a higher bid. Again, don't know much about him, but for £35 million, I believe he's a forward.
Yeah, left or right sided attacking forward. So if you're playing the front three, that's where he plays like that.
Yeah, apparently they've had direct contact with the club today. Yeah, apparently we started off the bidding around 25, and they wanted around 34. So apparently we don't exceed 35 at the minute, and they haven't currently accepted it. So obviously, I am just. I'll be completely honest with everyone watching. I am just getting these. It is just rumours. I don't believe any of this until I see it. So please forgive me if any of this is absolute shite. But again, and another thing that came out today, Naomi, is weirdly Barcelona meets the entourage of Marcus Rashford, not Marcus Rashford, his entourage. So obviously his agent and his
Yeah,
best
his
mate.
brother.
Yeah. So
Ah.
thoughts on? I don't think Barcelona's the right fit for Rashford. I'll say it straight away. If you're wanting to recoup the wages that you're getting at Old Trafford to the wages that you'd want to get at the new camp, Barcelona are in such a financial hell. But I'll let you go, Naomi, and then I'll say my piece.
Yeah, basically kind of the similar sentiments. As soon as we heard that Rashi was gonna probably try to move on, I had a chat with folks in the community about him potentially being interested in Barcelona. And I said that if he leaves, like he should try to go to like a name brand club, like
Mm.
somewhere people can at least recognize the name. Uh, and that's kind of how Barcelona came up, but they're in so much financial trouble. Like they literally just can't take another um they can't take another thing on. And another thing I heard about them was that they are unable to pay the players that they have already hired.
Mm.
Uh, so I don't know how they're gonna hire our players if they can't even pay. They're on back pay, so they haven't been able to pay them for time served. Uh, so yeah, as a United fan, it's like when you look at others and they're doing worse than you, you're like, oh, okay, so this is like a collective thing.
Yeah,
But
we're all in the shit. Yeah,
yeah, we're all in this together. So
yeah.
that's kind of how I heard about his connection early on with Barcelona. But that's interesting that they went to meet with them. I don't know what's going on at this point.
Let's have a look at that. Yeah, Mark, any thoughts on potentially? I don't think it's going to happen, but what do you think?
Man United and Barcelona, and like it's just ongoing, isn't it? There's always links, but nothing ever happens between the two clubs. Since
Oh,
Mark
sorry,
Houston.
very quickly, and we got it wrong. Patrick Dorgu from Lecce is a left back. Sorry, carry on.
Is he a left back?
Apparently so. So we got that wrong.
Well,
But go on.
we just signed an 18-year-old left back, and now we're looking at another one. I thought it was like left attacking winger, but okay. There was a brother, so it might be him. I'm thinking of. There's more than one Drugo.
Oh, there you go.
Barcelona. Naomi, you're right. They at the start of the season they signed a player then they couldn't even register him to the squad because they had to cut costs before they could register any more players under the La Liga rules. So they were running at like 500,000 salary cap, and it's 250,000 or something like that. So they had to make big changes. So I don't think Barcelona are there to buy. Was it a loan story? But he's there to go on loan.
Do.
And then we cover the wages. The only way I can see him going to Barcelona would be that.
All the headline is that Marcus Rashford's entourage meets with Barcelona. I would imagine it's a loan with an option to buy, but
Option, yeah. Um, is it the right team for him? Yeah.
potentially, yeah.
Um, yeah. You Lamau on the right, yeah, him on the left. They don't really have a left attacker. Um, but will it go through? No, I doubt it. It's the wages. At the end of the day, if United are trying to cut money and they need to get players out, someone's got to take on some percentage of the wages.
Yeah.
So, but I think Casemiro is the one that no one's really talking about. I think there's a done deal there, or something's going to happen on right at the end. I think
To go
he's
to
going
where?
Saudi. I think Saudi are just waiting to get rid of their players because obviously how it works there, for those who aren't aware, it's not done by club, it's done by the league. So there's X amount of international players. So it could be, for instance, we use Premier League clubs. Man United want to buy someone, they can't until Brighton have got rid of someone. So
Yeah.
Brighton get rid of this foreign player, and then you can have 10 in one team and 1 in another. It's pretty stupid, but
That's
it's
what we
their
need.
version of the Galacticos and make certain teams more powerful. But yeah, Rashford, Garnacho, that's it, really, isn't it?
That's all the news basically from transfers. Everything else is just hearsay. There's no real. And like I say, the only other thing is that Napoli have informed Manchester United that they can offer them a massive discount on Victor Osimhen's £63 million current price tag if if United cooperate with the Garnacho deal. So I don't know
Would you
enough.
take him?
No, personally, if I had a choice, if it was up to me, I wouldn't be buying Victor Osimhen. He's not my first choice player. It seems like a player with a lot of baggage. But I don't know enough about him, guys. If you know more about him, fair enough. But I know nothing about the player.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see what his stats are for this season because he went to Turkey, didn't he?
Yeah, he's at. I think he's on loan at Galatasaray from Napoli.
Yeah. So let's see how many goals has he scored this season. Europa League, 4 games, 3 goals. In the league, 14 games, 11 goals. African Cup of Nations, 7 games, 1 goal, but that's neither here or there. He's a goal a game striker in wherever he's been, but that's not the Premier League. So a goal a game striker is 1 in 3 outside of the Premier League on average. When you look at other ones, when they bring him in, so would I take him? Who's creating the chances?
That's it.
Strikers don't score goals without chances.
Yeah. Very quickly, half time in the Liverpool game, if you care. I don't know if anyone does, but they're currently 1-0 up over Lille. And Villa was defeated 1-0 to Monaco earlier on in the evening. Barcelona are currently 3-1 down to Benfica. So there you are. Rashford, if you're watching.
Oh, well, there you go. They must need him.
Yeah, they must need him. And Dortmund, 1-0 up over Bologna. Rashford, if you're watching. Those are the 2 clubs that seem to be interested in Rashford. There you go. Yeah, that's pretty much all of the transfers, rumours and news. There was a group chat I was in that someone was very good at sending all the news in, but I left that group chat because I couldn't be asked. So if I've missed anything, I apologise. But yeah, the main news stories that I could find, that is pretty much it. Should we do a quick look at the game on Thursday? I'm not looking forward to it, but we might as well. Was it Rangers at home, isn't it?
Yeah.
Battle of Britain, they're calling it. It's probably battle of the 2 most mediocre teams in Britain at the moment. But Naomi, your thoughts, your feelings on another? We're back in the Europa League, back to other competitions. What are your thoughts in going into that game?
Yeah, I don't know, honestly. It's just been one hit after the other, one hit after the other. I actually watched the women's game this weekend just to kind of get a little bit of a high, and it was really cool. So happy for Ella Toon, with her hat trick at Etihad, and really enjoyed everyone celebrating that on the internet as well. So, you need to keep your morals up one way or the other. But yeah, maybe, we might get something, just being in a different league. I don't really know what motivates us anymore. So I don't know. I hope whatever motivates us motivates us. I don't know, honestly. Like Rangers, haven't heard too much about them. So, maybe we'll be able to kind of take something out. But yeah, at this point, I'm just taking it one game at a time. And you know how early these games are, right? I'm either at work or it's like 6 a.m. So I'm like, oh my gosh, what's happening? So yeah, it's been tough.
I believe it's an 8 p.m. kickoff over here, so that's what 1 in the afternoon for you.
hmm
Yeah,
hmm
Yeah.
midweek games do you dirty, don't they? It's not ideal
Yeah.
for you.
And I'm like in the office, so I'm like, all right, guys, I'm gonna have lunch and don't talk to me because I'm gonna, it's a moment. So yeah, sometimes you're like, should I even be like watching this? I have stuff to do.
Yeah.
It's
Mark,
hard.
what are your thoughts on the game itself and going into it?
Rangers have had a very up and down season.
Hmm.
They've only lost 4 in the league, pretty much all to Celtic. But we played in pre-season. I don't know if that shows any light on what we had. They haven't really added to their team. If anything, they've lost players. They've had quite a few injuries, but yet it's whether we turn up.
They
I'd
are
rather be playing them at
undefeated in
Ibrox.
their last 6, if that makes any
Yeah,
difference. 2 draws, 5
yeah, and I
wins.
think they've got 5 games in hand on Celtic, so or something stupid like that. So league form, you can't really be looked at.
Yeah.
Um, but it's our home form. I think any United fan really would rather see us play away from home at the moment than at Old Trafford because they say the shirt is heavy, but we're treading mud. Um, yeah, I think we'll win. I don't think it'll be pretty. I don't think it'll be a free scoring game. I think 1-0, I'll be happy, walk out. And that pretty much put us through automatically. I think we need
Yeah.
one win from the last 2 to not be in an
We don't
it's
want to
how
be
to
in the
phrase
playoffs.
it. Top 8, yeah, then no playoffs.
Yeah, we want to avoid playoff as much as we can because we don't want 2 extra games in February if we can help it. Or I think it might be three extra games in February, whatever it is. If we can get away with that, that would be handy. But our form in the Europa League, we're 7th at the moment. Rangers are 8th.
Mm-hmm.
They're on 11. We're on 12. So there is quite a lot to play for in this match. Obviously, if results go our way, we could end up as high as 3rd.
Yeah, the teams we got left of aren't that great either.
No,
Are we undefeated in Europe? We are, aren't we? We've got draws, but we didn't lose. Am I
played 6,
forgetting?
won 3, drawn 3. Yeah,
Yeah. So there's a positive for Amarin to go in. Guys, you've not lost in this one. You know,
yeah.
I
Do
won't have to
something.
throw anything.
Yeah,
So,
And
um,
sometimes that's all you need.
yeah,
yeah.
it
Just
is.
just
You've
be
got to
like,
find something to hold on.
Yeah, like remember Rasmus when he wasn't scoring in the Premier League, but then he had like 5 games in the Champions League or something.
mm,
So,
5 and 6. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So I
So
don't know. I don't know. It's a tough one. Like you say, coming off a Sunday, Nathan. Like that was horrible.
mm.
That was horrible. And actually,
Especially
we
when
picked
we were
ourselves
all
up.
under the impression that when we saw right, we've got what is it 3 games at home, we should be winning at least all 3. And at the moment, we are at 1-1.
Hmm.
And if we draw on Thursday, it'll be 1-1 and 1 in all 3 categories. So we'll see. I'm not overly confident, but I haven't been confident for a long time with any Man United game.
No.
I would like to think that my comments on a Talk of the League show or a Red Devils Roundup show a few weeks ago, where I said that if Scottish teams were in the Premier League, they would be relegated straight away. I hope that doesn't come back to bite me.
Yeah, because I disagree with you on that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
you did. So I'm
yeah,
hoping that my comments are backed up by an absolute masterclass from Ruben after smashing up all the tellies and the TVs and all the tables. Hopefully that goes right. We've got nothing to sit on now, lads, so you might as well go out and play football. And then goes out and we end up winning 5-0. So we'll see. You know,
I've just got this picture of them now sitting on the floor putting their boots on
yeah,
like
they're all
Sunday
just on
league
the floor,
style.
like sitting on the edge of the bath, just
Yeah, yeah,
on the
on
massage
someone's
table.
back.
Yeah.
Rashford bend over
And
while
then
we're
he
playing.
goes, "Well, we've been here 3 hours. We've got nothing else to do. You might as well just go out now and just warm up for the next 2 hours." Yeah, so you never know. We'll see. But yeah, no.
Well,
Any
it
score
needs to
predictions?
pick
Go on.
up.
Let's do a score prediction. I'm going to say 3-1 United. Mark, what do you reckon?
1-0. 1-0 out of there. I'm more
Goal
than happy
scorer?
with that after Rasmus.
Rasmus, Naomi,
I'll go 2-0 United.
and a goal scorer.
Well, if Mark said Rasmus, I'm gonna agree with that. I'll go Rasmus and Ahmad.
I'm gonna say Maguire gets a goal. Why not?
Yeah.
He's
Mm.
been fabulous,
Yeah, but
fighting and being aggressive.
that's what we've been after. It's what we've been wanting from him. That's all.
Actually, talking
No,
about aggression, did you
go
see
on.
that clip of the ref getting in between? Oh, who was it? Solly Marsh and I can't remember which United player it was, and then Garnacho comes in and Marsh grabs him right in front
Oh
of the
yeah,
ref by the throat.
yeah, right in front
Puts
of
his
your
Yeah,
hand
system and the
straight
ref.
round his throat. Oh, no, play on, lads. I was like, what? It's clear as day on camera in front of the ref, and it was just let go again.
absolutely
So
insane. I watched it from
very
like,
quickly, we have got 157 people watching us right now. So thank you
Ask us a
everyone so
question.
much for watching. Get over to the YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell, and there'll be shows coming at you left, right, and centre over the next few weeks. Hopefully, we're going to have a talk of the league. We're hoping for tomorrow. If not, it'll be Saturday, and then we're going to do another Red Devils roundup. Hopefully, Sunday evening as well. Fingers crossed. But we shall let you know in advance, guys. It has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for spending your afternoon/evening with me, depending on which one you are. Naomi, you've had some podcasts and shows come out in the last couple of days. Got any more on the plans? What's going on?
yes, definitely. They're coming out every couple of weeks. I believe the next one, I'm also hosting it. So definitely make sure to tune in this Saturday. It's gonna be honestly anywhere from noon to 6 p.m. our time. But you will know when we know. And it is on We Are Meant to Be United podcast, January 25. So thank you, Nate.
Amazing, nice one. If Mark, have you got a Twitter? Where can people abuse you if they want to?
Yeah, my Twitter is just my normal name, Mark Langridge 7 on X. I'm more of a lurker in the background from posting myself, with the odd few comments around other people's posts. But yeah, no, jump on, have your say. Anything you want us to bring up, change, you know,
Yeah,
my
absolutely.
controversial opinions.
Yeah.
Come back at
Uh,
me.
and guys, everyone watching on Twitter right now, we really appreciate it. But if you are interested in joining the panel and joining the channel, please hit our account right there, slide into our DMs, and one of us will get in touch with you, and we will talk to you about joining the show because we are always looking for new faces. We are always looking for new people to get involved. And if you don't want to be involved, don't worry about it. Just hit like, follow the channel, and just get involved. Send us questions, do whatever you like. We are not scary people. Well, not always, but yeah, you can find me at Nate Dales on Twitter. Don't tweet very often, but I have started doing it a little bit now. A little tweet I did the other day upset a few Spurs fans, but that's fine. Ange Postecoglou is a fraud.
That's what it's there for.
Yeah, that's what it's there for. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, everyone, and we will see you guys very, very soon.